But at the end of the day, we don't own a house. We want to own a house, and it's impossible. I think the biggest thing is we need to reframe what it means to be successful in this country. Gen Z, 22, just coming out of college. Man, it's... Look, I'm going to be honest. It's going to be rough. So, do I think this country's done? This country's cooked, as I keep hearing? No, absolutely not. But I do believe that people need to get more proactive. And the older I get, the more I'm a believer in, think global, act local. What's important to me is my neighborhood, my neighbors, what's going on, my local school for my kid, the grocery stores around, the public transportation, especially in big cities. Those are important things to me. What's going on in the world is also important, and you should be aware, but I think the way things are going, I think it's going to have to start from the grassroots up. And I think people are going to have to start creating communities, local communities, and helping each other out, because I don't think the government's going to help anybody. I don't think it has for a long time. I see my neighbors, I see them struggling, and it breaks my heart, because a lot of these people, they worked their whole life and they don't have anything to show for it. They never owned anything. Now I'm talking specifically in big cities here, because that's where I grew up, that's what I know. So I can't speak for other parts of America, but yeah, but here in New York City, locals, born and raised, and they're struggling. It's not just a question of rent. The food prices, their bills, the electric, the gas, the internet, all the utilities. It's not easy, and it's not easy for landlords either. I'm not one of these people that just bashes on landlords. It's difficult, because every year their utilities go up, their tax assessments on their properties go up, and a lot of times the increase in rent doesn't keep up with the bills. I'm not saying they don't make money. Obviously they still make money. A lot of them like to complain, but there is something to be said about that. So a lot of people in the same boat. I think about what it takes to survive here in New York City, and just me and my wife as an example, we do well. I mean, relatively speaking, we're not rich, we're not wealthy, we don't own anything, but it also means we don't have any debt, we don't have any car payments, we don't have any property payments. But at the end of the day, we don't own a house. We want to own a house, and it's impossible. And I'm not talking about impossible here just in New York City or the tri-state area as it's known. It's impossible even if we took our New York City pay and moved upstate New York, where we've thought about sometimes. It's still hard. It would be easier, but it's still hard. And I don't see these prices coming down. I'm not so pessimistic. I think things will get better. I think all this will pass and there will be a better future. But I just think we need to get through this together. That sounds so corny. And these younger people, oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying that. I mean, I'm 40. But these younger people, the 20-year-olds, Gen Z, 22, just coming out of college. Man, it's... Look, I'm going to be honest. It's going to be rough. It sucks. It sucks for us. Listen, it sucked for us millennials. We went through 9/11, the Great Recession, the pandemic. We've been through it all. So it's not, every generation has its battles. But the Gen Z and the Alpha, I guess, is the next one. Yeah, you guys are in for it. But I also think that we need to lower expectations. I think the biggest thing is we need to reframe what it means to be successful in this country. And I have this conversation with my wife a lot, and she's great because we're on the same page, and I'll go on one of my rants like I am now, and she'll just, she'll say something that'll just be so truthful and so calming, and I'm like, yeah, you know what, you're right. And I think we will have to be happier with less. And I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying that it's right. But we're just gonna have to make peace with it, because ownership, I think that's out the window for most people. I really do. I just don't, nobody's building. They're not building anymore. And that's the NIMBY laws in this country. And then that goes back to the conversation I've had about the baby boomers, who are mostly at fault for this, because when the question is framed to them, do you support more housing, more public housing, more cost effective housing, whatever, they're like, yes, of course, everybody should have a house, a home, everybody should. But then when push comes to shove, and it's a project that's being built 100 feet away from their suburban house, they're up in arms about it. They're all about the NIMBY, not in my backyard. So well, which one is it? So are you supportive of it, or are you not? And like I said, when push comes to shove, most of them are not. And I understand there's reasons for that, but a lot of them are selfish. Come on, let's be honest. And so the Gen Zers, man, the millennials, we're just gonna have to do with what we have, and just try and be happy. And that doesn't mean we do foolish things. I see a lot of people just giving up completely. And I saw a video of this girl. She was in Hawaii, and she was maybe a few years older than me. And she was like filming herself having a great time. She goes, why be $80,000 in debt in whatever state she was from? I forget. Just say Washington State, for example. Why be $80,000 in debt in Washington when I can be $85,000 in Hawaii? She was in Hawaii. So yeah, she was on this trip having a great time in Hawaii. It's like, I don't know. Is that the answer? Just just give up and max out the credit cards, and I don't know. That doesn't seem like a sensible solution. But yeah, people do deserve breaks. People do deserve to go on holiday. Maybe we just need to redefine what that means. Maybe not Hawaii. Maybe, the local beach, park, lake, I don't know, something.